How can you turn garden and kitchen waste into a beautiful compost? Which materials can be easily composted? Will you be needing one small compost bin or rather a series of larger bins? Find out in this video. These materials can be easily composted. Fruit and vegetable peelings, coffee grounds and paper filters, cut flowers, indoor plants, as well as most garden waste, lawn clippings, autumn leaves, hedge clippings, twigs and branches, and bedding used by plant-eating animals can be composted. Some materials can better be avoided, like bread, meat, cheese, fish and greasy materials like sauce. Ashes, garden soil and potting soil should not be used in the compost either. If during composting you don't reach high temperatures, it is wise to leave out weeds with persistent roots or seeds. Composting is a natural process. Decomposing organisms like bacteria, fungi and small invertebrates break down the material into compost. Your job is to ensure that these decomposers are provided with a good mixture of well chopped up food, sufficient humidity and lots of oxygen. Some materials contain a lot of water and a lot of nutrients, like lawn clippings or kitchen waste. We call them greens, even if they aren't always green. Greens are good ingredients but difficult to compost on their own. Other materials are poor in nutrients, rather dry and firmer, like leaves, twigs, straw and so on. We call them browns. They allow air to circulate through the compost. By mixing greens with browns, we obtain an ideal composting mix. Hedge clippings and bedding from domestic animals like rabbits are a good mixture of greens and browns. They can be composted as such. Chopping waste into smaller pieces will speed up decomposition. It will also make it easier for you to turn your compost. Making waste smaller can be done in different ways, by hand or with a machine. Larger fruits or vegetables can be cut into pieces with a knife. Twigs and small branches can be broken by hand or cut with pruning shears. If you have a lot of branches, a garden shredder can come in handy. Leaves or fine hedge clippings can be shredded using a powerful lawnmower. A hedge trimmer is useful for cutting plants like ornamental grasses into smaller bits. During composting, a lot of oxygen is used and therefore fresh air is needed. In a small bin you use a special tool called a compost aerator. Insert the tool into the material until you reach the base. Turn it slightly and pull it back up. By doing so, you create chimneys that let the air penetrate. In the meantime, you pull up decomposing organisms and bring them into contact with fresh waste you have just put in. When composting in a series of larger bins, fresh air is introduced by transferring the compost from one bin to the other with a pitchfork. Dried out waste will not decompose. Check your compost regularly and keep it moist. When you notice that materials are dried out, you should add water using a water hose or a watering can. A variety of systems are on the market for home composting. Smaller bins are intended for tiny gardens. You can use them to compost kitchen waste with a small amount of garden waste. These bins come in different colors and shapes, with or without a base. What they all have in common is that you put waste in from above and that compost is produced at the bottom. If you have a bigger garden and you wish to compost all your garden waste, a series of bigger bins is a better choice. Generally, a 3-bin system will do perfectly. In smaller gardens, working with 2 bins is possible. Every 3 or 4 months, the waste is transferred to the following bin. The bin that is emptied can be filled with fresh waste. Once you have chosen the system that suits you best, you will find more detailed information in our videos, composting in one small bin or composting in a series of bins.